The last couple days, we've received many requests for more information on ear training, specifically on our Politonus series. This was probably caused by the latest videos we've been posting with piano improvisations using only one mode. And yes, we think ear training is essential if you want to create music on the spot. You need to be able to hear it in your head before you play it. So the most common question was, which Politonus should I get first? And that's a very good question because Politonus 1 is very different from Politonus 2 and 3. You'll work with Politonus 1 for the rest of your life. Actually, I don't know anyone that's mastered all of the levels in Politonus 1. Politonus 1 is based on a famous ear training exercise that Charlie Banacos used to make many of us here at MDEX do every day. If you went to Berkeley or you studied in the Boston area before the 2000s, you probably know who Charlie was. Actually, he used to teach by mail. Yes, by mail. People all around the world would send him cassettes with recordings of themselves playing, and then Charlie would tell them what to practice. Anyways, one of his most famous ear training exercises was to play a 1-4-5-1 cadence and then play a bunch of notes at random. So you would have to hear all the notes and then tell him which degrees were there. So I'll play the cadence in the key of C and then a random note. So what note is this? Is it the 5th? Is it the flat 7th? Is it the 2nd? This is the whole point of the exercise. And then you would move on to 2 notes and then to 3 and so on. I've heard stories about some guys that would hear 11 notes at once, so they would tell Charlie which note was missing instead. In Politonus 1, we've taken that exercise and with the power of AI, created an app that learns what you can hear, where your weaknesses are, and slowly increase the difficulty of the exercises. And we've also added the option of practicing perfect pitch instead of just relative pitch. Just turn on the assistant and use the app every day. Don't worry if you make mistakes. Every mistake helps the app learn what you can or cannot hear at the moment. So yeah, Politonus 1 is basically endless. You can use it forever. Now, Politonus 2 and 3 are completely different. They use a method we call reverse ear training. In Politonus 2, you'll have 3 spheres, and they all play something different. On top, it says, find the perfect 5th. So you have to tell the app which sphere plays the perfect 5th. Your brain starts learning the differences between these intervals much faster and more accurately. You're actually looking for a specific sound. Politonus 2 and 3 also use AI to learn how much you can hear based on your input and design the next exercise to optimize your learning curve. And you can also see your progress in the main window. Every sphere here represents an interval, a triad, or a 7th chord. As you practice, the spheres will move closer and closer to your ear's inner circle of knowledge. And you can tap on the sphere to hear how the interval or the chord sounds. Politonus 2 has all intervals, triads, and 7th chords. So once you've managed to move all these spheres into the proficient inner circle, you can certainly say you can hear all these intervals and chords. Now, Politonus 3 works similar to Politonus 2. So you have the spheres in the inner circles, but now each sphere is an entire scale. There are 3 sets of scales: modes of major or Ionian, modes of harmonic minor, and modes of melodic minor. The black spheres are all the modes of the major scale. So if I tap on the black sphere labeled 1, I can hear the Ionian scale. And if I tap on the black sphere labeled 2, I can hear mode 2 of Ionian, which is Dorian. The red spheres are all the modes of harmonic minor, and the blue spheres are all the modes from melodic minor. These 3 source scales and their modes are the most important scales in music. As you can see, these are all 7-note scales. So up here, you can see the intervals present in the scale. Like Ionian is all major or perfect degrees represented by the yellow color. That's why we call it the major scale. If I tap on the Dorian sphere, you can see a couple of pink boxes because Dorian has a flat 3 and a flat 7. So to distinguish between scales, you must hear the different intervals present in each scale. The cool thing about Politonus 3 is that you're also using reverse ear training. So every exercise plays a song that uses all the notes from a scale. If you switch the moon, you can change the scale. So you have to match what you hear with the mode requested by choosing the right moon position. And at higher levels, you have up to 3 moons to toggle. So yeah, these are pretty extensive ear training apps. And back to the question, which app should I get first? I would say Politonus 2 is the easiest of them all, but Politonus 1 works on your ear training from a different perspective. So either or both is a good option as a starting point. If you know your intervals, triads, and seventh chords, then you can also get Politonus 3 to start with scales and modes. If you want to see these apps in action, I'm going to start a series of videos using them. In some of the videos, I'll just practice and see how far I can take them, and you can play along with me while I'm using the app. I think that would give you guys an idea of how long it takes to get to the next levels and how extensive these apps actually are. And you can also use these videos to practice ear training instead of using the apps. Of course, we will see how far I can take it in Politonus 1. And then I'll make some videos where I will use the apps and explain what I'm hearing or looking for as I'm working through them. I think ear training is so important for any musician regardless of style or application, and we should create more content about it. So look out for these new videos in the future.